Tuskegee Airmen movie, I had mentioned to you that I actually looked at that movie, and I'm sure that the actual history behind that movie, I'm sure that particular video didn't do the actual history any justice. So you was kind of sharing some information with me concerning the actual history versus the number of Tuskegee Airmen at that time versus what's being portrayed in the film.
Well, the film was one of many that they attempted, and they couldn't get it right. So they put that film through. By the time they did, it was late. There weren't enough airplanes. They made it look like there were only about 40 of us, when indeed at Tuskegee, the entire complement there, including ground personnel and civilian personnel, came to about 15,000 people. As a matter of fact, one of our club members, Mr. Johnson, Ted Johnson, did something like 10 years on a survey to compile that many people. He has a history on all of them and what they did and what they accomplished. But the idea of only having 40 people would not have made sense. So in actuality, we graduated 996 fighter pilots, altogether pilots, not necessarily fighters. We had a bomber crew also. But then the civilian personnel, the mechanics and ground personnel compiled the group. As a matter of fact, it was a very prejudiced situation during that time, trying to get into it wasn't called Tuskegee Airmen, then trying to get into the Air Force, particularly in a pilot capacity, was virtually impossible. We had to go through all types of fights and dignities and whatever. And were it not for the fact that we had some very strong organizations behind us, like the NAACP, the Urban League, the Pittsburgh Courier, and others like that, it wouldn't have succeeded. But one of the catalysts of the total program was when Mrs. Roosevelt, the wife of President Franklin D. Roosevelt at that time, came down to Tuskegee and took a ride with Chief Anderson. And she went back and told her husband, give those gentlemen a chance to try. And that put us over the top. And we're very proud to say that we had a very, very fine record.